Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards, and in this video I want to torture some PSA slabs so you don't have to. My goal in this video is to show you what PSA slabs can and can't do for the protection of your cards. These slabs are very good at protecting your cards in some ways. They give you the condition of the card, that's what we pay for with grading, but do they actually protect your cards in certain situations, in certain circumstances? In the past, I actually made a video similar to this where I did a drop test, a fire test, and a water test on a BGS, PSA, and SGC slab. So I don't want to repeat those tests necessarily. You guys can watch that video if you're interested. But in this video, my goal is to test a little bit different situations and maybe some more realistic and also some unrealistic things that might happen to your cards. What I'm going to be doing in this test is basically seeing if a hard fall of something onto the slab is going to damage the card internally. We're going to simulate that and then we're going to crack it and look at it. We're going to do a little bit more extreme water test, which you'll see in this video. We are also going to be doing a shake test to see if you shake the card enough, if it damages the edges and corners inside the slab, or if you need a very hard drop in order to damage it. I'll explain this later, but usually a PSA graded card can get damaged if it gets dropped because of the bumpers internally. If it slides and hits it at a hard speed, it will actually damage the card. And then the last test is going to be me actually using a Bowman Chrome autograph of Scottie Johnson from 2006 in a PSA slab to see if the slab will help prevent any type of fade of the autograph. This test is actually already completely finished, and the good thing about this test is I have a result that might shock you and it might not shock you. So the way I did this test is I actually started by putting this card on my porch. I was gonna leave it out in the sun for 3 days and just compare the autograph and photos and video before compared to what it looked like after the test. When I did that, I realized it was pretty warm outside, so I left it out there about an hour and I said, you know what, I better bring it in just so that way, you know, the heat didn't cause any issues with the test. I wanted to make sure it was just UV light, because UV light is in our light bulbs, it's in the sun, obviously. Anything in the sun usually fades, but also in our regular light. We see it in card shops where cards fade inside of a case, whether it's vintage or autographs on modern cards. We've all seen the Bowman Chrome autographs or the autographs of all these legends on baseballs, on sports cards that have just faded, and it's really sad, but I wanted to see how long it would take for an autograph to fade. So I initially said I'm gonna do it for 3 days, but just know what I did instead is I brought it inside, I put it on a window seal that is in the sun 5, 6, 7 hours of the day directly, and then kind of in the sun the rest of the day, just like every window. And I want to compare the autographs afterwards. So here's the clip of me starting that test right now, and then afterwards we will look at the results. We have this beautiful Scottie Johnson PSA 9. It has a perfect autograph. I'm surprised how good the autograph looks from 2006. He was the Braves' first round draft pick that year. And the autograph looks extremely bold. And while this card is bold right now in a PSA case, I just want to test to see if this PSA case provides any protection against the sun. So I'm gonna put this outside right now. You can see here, very sunny. Leave it right here. Unfortunately, that card might have a hard time in a few days. Now that you've watched that clip, you get an idea of what I was thinking, but again, I brought it in, left it on a windowsill for 7 days from Saturday to Saturday, and the results were wild. I'm going to be showing the comparison on the screen right now. The autograph faded drastically, like big time faded in just a week of being in the sunlight for probably 4 to 5 hours a day, and then being non-direct sunlight for, you know, the rest of the day when the light was out. So this just shows you the PSA slab does not really protect from the autograph. This autograph was extremely bold when I bought the card, and it has been since I had it for about 2 years. But you can see it's now faded drastically from a bold 2006 autograph to a faded 2006 autograph, which is really sad because this card has lasted almost 20 years with being perfect, and now it is a faded auto. So this lesson was just to show you that yes, UV rays do damage the card, obviously in direct sunlight, but I don't think people realize that it can get damaged in regular light as well. So you might want to think twice if you're going to be displaying an autograph, and if you have the false sense of security like, hey, it's a graded card, it shouldn't affect the autograph. That's not true. We can prove the PSA slab does not protect the autograph, unfortunately. This next test, we have a beautiful AJ Reed PSA 9 first Bowman card. I don't think he ever made the big leagues. He might have, but obviously doesn't have much value. But we're going to have a test. If you're like me, if you leave your clothes out, your wife or whoever will be really great and throw it in the wash for you. But let's say you leave your beautiful AJ Reed or high-end card in your pocket. We've done a water test. They're relatively waterproof, if not completely waterproof. But what happens if you wash it in a full wash cycle with detergent and then you dry the card? So that's what we're going to find out. We're going to put this in here. It's actually a full load of laundry in there. I hope this does not damage my washing dryer, because that would make Kaylin, thank you for recording, Kaylin, very upset. But let's see what happens. It is in there. It is going in the washing machine. Kaylin just loaded the laundry for me because she's the best wife ever. Let's check in a few minutes and we'll see what happens. Okay, AJ Reed is done washing. Let's see how he did. Got what? Look at the paper. You can see water all in there. That surprises me, actually. The card's even warping, so got quite a bit of water got inside of it. All right, well, let's dry it now. Let's see if we can fix the issue. I'm gonna put it back in my pants pocket. All right, good luck, AJ. As much as I love science, I don't like paying for broken watch dryers or anything like that. So I think I'm gonna end this test a little early. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, there it is. It did not dry it very well. No damage to the slab, but only there for like 2 or 3 minutes. But anyways, so to sum up this test, don't wash your card in the washing machine. Even though they do a really good job, PSA Slabs, at keeping water out, it will not work in a washing machine or a dryer. So just a heads up. The next test. Let's say your beautiful, beloved family dog finds your Mike Trout Bowman Chrome Autograph PSA 10 card and decides to chew it. Here, we're actually gonna be doing a Brandon McCarthy Bowman Chrome First card. I'm gonna let Buttons chew it first, and just in case she doesn't quite dig into it, I will also simulate myself with a hammer and a screwdriver, a dog, or something hard hitting the card to see what happens. Okay. What do you think of that? She's vicious. She's a killer. I think she's done. Buttons did not quite come through for us. That's okay. I think she's learned better than to chew my baseball cards. So what we're doing next is we have a screwdriver and a hammer. We're gonna hit a few places. I'm gonna hit basically right next to the corner here, softly, and then I'm gonna go a little bit harder right here, and then very hard right here. So here is the soft hit. See if anything happened there. Here's a medium hit. Here's the very hard hit. Next, I'm gonna go crack this, and we're going to see if any damage came through the slab. There are marks on the slab right now that you can see, especially where I hit really hard right there, but who knows if that went all the way through to the card. Very light mark here, and a little bit heavier from when I hit it with the hammer, medium strength. All right, I am now gonna crack this open. We're gonna use these bolt clippers, a screwdriver, and this towel. We're gonna cover the card entirely, so that way if any chips of plastic go anywhere, it's not gonna hurt anybody. There we go. There's the corner of the slab. I'm actually gonna do the other side as well, just so we can make this easier. There's this corner. Brandon McCarthy, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for what I did to your card. And let's see if there's any damage whatsoever. I actually do not see any issues with the card. There's a little bit right here. Little tiny indent. Is it getting picked up on the camera? Right? There's a tiny bit of a mark. I'll try to turn the lights on a little bit better. Right there, by the buttons. There's little buttons on his arm. There's a mark. But other than that, the card looks really good. So overall, I am surprised that it didn't damage the card more. Maybe if let's do this. I'm sure this doesn't count, but we're just gonna put it back in, close it. I'm gonna hit it one more time, pretty hard, right on his glove. Broke the slab that time. Yeah, there's a dent. There's a dent there. There it is. So you gotta hit it that hard with a hammer, directly with a screwdriver. So I think you're probably fine. I say this card passed that test. As long as you hit the card extremely hard, screwdriver, you're good. All right, for the last test, we're gonna do a shake test. We have a paper card that is actually a PSA new graded slab. You can see the new logo. Then we have an older chromium card, and this is a older slab with the old logo. You can hear it makes noise, and you can hear it makes noise. So both of these are rattling around. I will shake this for, let's say, 3 minutes, and we'll see if there's any marks. If there is, I will show it. If not, then we'll go to the next test. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh. All right, let's look at the cards and see if there's any damage. We will start with Dan Johnson Topps Chrome from 2002. I see 0 damage. at all. Dan Johnson passed the shake test. Let's look at Travis Hafner. This is the one I thought might get damaged because it's a paper card. I'm actually going to use a black light. The black light, there is 0 damage. That is shocking to me. So if you just don't drop your cards and they just move around normally, they most likely will not get damaged from that test. Granted, it was only 3 minutes of me manually shaking them, but overall, pretty good to see. Okay, so to recap everything, let's go over the final results. The autograph test, fail. The autograph faded drastically in only a week. This card is now kind of ugly, if I'm being honest. I'm now going to leave it in the sun for however long it takes to completely get rid of the autograph. That's what I want to see next, and so I will update you on that status. Next one is the shake test, where I shook these 2 cards for 3 minutes straight, and there were no issues at all, like at all. This is a paper card, so I thought maybe that'd have damage. This is a chromium card, so I doubted it, but both of them, are loose, and neither of them had any damage. So that's a pass for PSA, which I'm surprised because I thought there would be damage since they get damaged when you drop them. The next test is if something sharp falls on your card or if a dog chews on your card. Buttons was not in the mood to chew today, but the screwdriver, when it did actually crack the slab, cracked the card. And there's a big old ding right on the middle of this Brandon McCarthy Bowman Chrome. So overall, that's kind of in the middle. It's not a fail or a pass because it did get damaged once the slab cracked, but it handled some pretty good damage in me hitting with a screwdriver pretty well. But I can't pass it fully because it did get a big old dent once the case did crack. So just know if something does fall on it that's really heavy and sharp, there's a chance if it cracks the case, the card's going to be damaged if you own the card. And lastly, a big fail is this AJ Reed. It got washed in the washing machine. It got wet and damaged, and yeah, that was a fail for sure. So other than that, let me know what your thoughts are on this video. If you like this type of video, let me know. I can always do more of them with other slabs, other tests. Feel free to recommend tests you'd like to see, and I will catch you all in the next video.